Let's look at how modern scientific research describes reality. The picture it depicts is fundamentally different from the one most of us know. This new picture helps us transcend the outdated ideas that govern our thinking and thus our lives. So let's get real. There is always a time lag between up-to-date research and society adapting to it. At the moment, the time lag is dire. The starting point in getting the new picture is to examine our understanding of how we know knowledge, because this has transformed in the past several years. We all know that knowledge comes through the brain. What I will examine here are two important components of how that happens: our sensory inputs and what I call storyboard. First, let's take a look at what are sensory inputs. How do our brains gather information, and what do our brains do with that information? So, how do our sensors gather information? They do this by functioning as a frequency analyzer. Carl Pribram, a neuroscience pioneer, has been an eminent professor at a variety of prestigious universities. He took what he knew about human brains and synthesized it with what he discovered is the way we construct laser holograms, showing that the mind operates in a holographic manner. That certain components of the brain, called neurons, axons, and dendrites, create wave-like patterns that cause an interference pattern. For there to be an interference pattern, something in some part of our body, some cell or molecule or part of a molecule, has to be able to vibrate at a matching frequency. As with holograms, the interference pattern is the way of reading external reality. That's how our sensors gather information. Until Einstein, science had always thought that we live in a solid, external reality that is objective. Modern science reveals that such thinking is primitive. What we experience as an objective external reality is just those frequencies we can match. They have no more reality than a radio wave or a cosmic wave, and no less. What we are able to see, smell, hear, taste, or feel are those bits of the universe which something in the eye, the nose, the ear, the tongue, and the touch can match in frequency. What we call the physical universe are just those frequencies we can match. So what does this tell us about reality? What about the parts we can't match in frequency? Take a look at this picture of the electromagnetic spectrum. That's the reality science reveals to us. Now look, here where it says visible light, that's the slit of reality that the eye gives us access to. And here where it says audio, that's the slit of reality to which the ear gives us access. Put together the 5 points of access which the sensors give us, and you have what we think is the entire universe to infinity. But science now tells us it is only a part of reality. Think of it like this. Let's say we change the frequencies we can match. So for example, instead of giving us access to the reality at 10 to the power 14 through 10 to the power 15 cycles per second, here, let's say the eye gave us access to the reality at 10 to the power 20 through 10 to the power 21 cycles per second. And the same with the other sensors. Let's say they gave us access to a different frequency range. Now, we would instantly experience a whole new world as our solid, real, objective universe. It would be as if we had just switched channels on the television. Suddenly, it's a whole new show. So the best metaphor for the reality in which we live is the picture you see on a television set. Loosely speaking, it is similarly manufactured. Films like The Matrix play with this fact. Science now tells us that in reality, what we think of as being everything, the entire physical universe of human sense perception to infinity, is actually no more than one TV channel. And we don't know how many there are. There could be an infinite number. Here, let me show you. Look at this projection of a 3D image. See how it comes out of the screen? What is happening here is that the eye is taking the frequencies being broadcast and creating the images you see. Look how my hand goes through the image. I can't touch it, can't hold it. Now, think about this. If we could invent a machine that could do with the frequencies of touch what a 3D picture does with the frequencies of the eye, you would be able to hold it. If it were done in the frequency range of the nose, you would be able to smell this image. In the TV series Star Trek, they hypothesized just such an instrument, one that can produce not just the frequencies of the eye, but of all the senses. They called it the holodeck. The images produced by such a machine would be indistinguishable from nature. In other words, reality is just like the picture on your computer or TV set. The work of Copernicus, Galileo, and Newton gave us a clockwork universe, a self-running, mechanical, physical, material thing. Quantum physics puts us in a different reality, a multi-channel universe. What this means is that anyone who teaches children that they live in a physical universe is misleading them, teaching mere superstition. It's the modern equivalent of teaching that the earth is flat. Kipling said, "Don't deal in lies." I say, don't deal in superstition. Get real. Okay, so this is the first thing to know. To perceive the environment or something in it, we, meaning something in us, has to vibrate at a matching frequency. The second thing to know is what do our brains do with the information sent to it by the senses.